Something I've learned in this life is that most people see themselves as moral. But I'm a good person. I try to do what's right. At least I'm not an axe murderer. You hear that from most people when it comes to morality. I myself have lived enough life to not see myself that way. I don't see myself as a good person. I don't really see myself as a bad person, but I probably would lean toward that only because I'm so aware of my imperfections. And I think the moment you start to think you're a good person, that's where the actual trap is. I don't really even believe in good or bad people. I believe more in there are people that can choose to make good or bad decisions that can hurt other people, or they can choose to make decisions that will help people. I think that's really simply what it all comes down to. And even when I was making that series for atheists, as just trying to open a dialogue with atheists, I think most atheists agreed with me on that perspective. That it's not that people are good or bad, it's that people choose to do good or bad things. But on top of that, I definitely believe that the moment you start to think that you're a good person, that is actually holding you back. And this week I discovered a quote from C.S. Lewis, which, by the way, I was an English major in college, and one of my whole courses was on C.S. Lewis. And so you can't help but respect so many things that he said. But I want to share this quote, and I was made aware of this this week. So C.S. Lewis, in a very famous book, Mere Christianity, this is what he said. Quote, "When a man is getting better, he understands more and more clearly the evil that is still left in him. When a man is getting worse, he understands his own badness less and less." End quote. Now, it goes on from there, but just looking at it in that perspective, that he's saying that the more you realize that you're not a good person, that's actually a sign that you are a good person. And the more you're in denial that there's selfishness in you, for example, well, you probably are a more selfish person. So it's actually a mark of, I say, emotional intelligence and just maturity overall, when you can get to the point of, and instead of comparing yourself morally to other people and saying, well, at least I'm not that bad. I may not be this good, but at least I'm not that bad. But I think as you mature, and that's definitely been the perspective for me, I'm not comparing myself to other people, because there's always going to be people who are perceived as better or worse than me morally. And I think that's only hurting yourself, especially to compare yourself either way. But instead to think, I'm not a good or a bad person. I am a person, and I am in charge of making my own decisions. Decisions that will either build other people up or will tear other people down. And what's funny is, as far as being a person that people want to be around, it's a person who helps other people and builds other people up. And I think it's hard to do that when you're the kind of person who still thinks that you're a good person. So I do not look at the mirror and think, that's a good person right there. Nope. I'm neutral. And I get the decision every day to determine if I'm going to help other people or I'm going to tear other people down. Your comments belong right here.